My name is Terrianna Singletary, and I'm a first-year graduate student at Texas State University. While completing my undergraduate studies at UNC Charlotte, I had the opportunity to study homelessness on UNC Charlotte's campus. Today we are going to discuss those results, their larger implications, housing and food insecurity on college campuses, and how it affects the Black, Indigenous, and POC student community. It is my hope that this presentation will lead to conversations at your institutions on how to better serve this disproportionately affected community.
So some of you may be asking, what exactly is housing and food insecurity? So we're going to go through that. Housing insecurity covers challenges students may come across, such as the inability to pay rent or utilities, or the need to move frequently, or having to leave home suddenly due to unsafe living conditions. Food insecurity is the limited or uncertain availability of nutritional and safe foods. This can be seen when a student has to skip a meal in order to save on groceries. Anytime a student feels that they didn't adequately get enough food to keep them sustained throughout the day, that is an example of food insecurity. Seeing as how housing insecurity stems from unforeseen financial hardship, it is important that food insecurity is discussed with this topic. When students are worrying about how they will pay their rent, determining where their next meal comes from can add stress and is more than likely to be something additional that they are worrying about.
A team of individuals at the Hope Center for College, Community, and Justice at Temple University are at the forefront of the research taking place to address student needs outside of the classroom. While their findings are not nationally representative, the research they began 5 years ago has remained consistent over time. These next slides are going to highlight what they found in their 2019 #RealCollege survey that received 167,000 student responses from a combined 227 4-year and 2-year institutions. Although the #RealCollege survey found that rates of housing insecurity were generally the same across race, Black, Indigenous, and POC students are still affected at a larger rate than their white counterparts. Black and Indigenous students experience the highest rates of housing insecurity, with 66% of Indigenous students and 58% of Black students indicating they experienced housing insecurity within the previous year compared to the 43% of white students who identified as housing insecure. Closures related to COVID-19 could exacerbate these insecurities. During this time, the Black community and people of color are already being disproportionately affected by the pandemic, alongside unexpected layoffs and lost wages that are leading to mass evictions. In 2019, 32% of students from 2-year universities and 20% of students from 4-year universities indicated that they were food and housing insecure at the same time, according to the RealCollege survey conducted by the Hope Center. In 2018, I had the opportunity to be a part of a research team that conducted a qualitative study to assess homelessness on UNC Charlotte's campus. Participants had to be enrolled full-time or part-time as a UNC Charlotte student who either previously experienced or currently was homelessness. Participants had to be enrolled full-time or part-time as a UNC Charlotte student who either previously experienced or currently was experiencing homelessness. Some of the conclusions we drew from our study were that stigmas may be limiting our perception of what it is to be homeless and or housing insecure. A lot of the participants in the study did not identify themselves as being homeless, even though they were surfing on couches, or in between leases, or living with a family friend, or living out of their car. In general, we found that UNC Charlotte students are experiencing homelessness, and it is affecting their well-being, their academics, and their social life. What's next? Because every institution is different in terms of student population and campus environment, it is important that we begin to research how these insecurities are impacting students and listening to suggested student feedback. Aside from the work the Hope Center has done, Research and understanding how and why Black, Indigenous, and POC students are experiencing these insecurities at higher rates is important. There are many avenues you can take in the fight to address student insecurities, whether it is starting a food pantry at your campus, establishing emergency support services, and most importantly, reducing the stigma surrounding what it means to be homeless and housing insecure. Referring to our findings in our 2018 study, I would like to take time to emphasize again that most of the participants did not identify as homeless, even though they were couch surfing or sleeping in their car due to their perceptions of what it means to be homeless. With 17% of the students from the hashtag Real College survey identifying as having experienced homelessness in the previous year, it is important that as campuses navigate what is best for both students and public health, that this already vulnerable population is remembered. Swipe Out Hunger is a nonprofit organization aimed at helping students address hunger on college campuses. This organization enables students by helping them start meal swipe donations on their campus and offers advocacy training for student leaders. This is a great way to get a meal voucher donation drive started on your college campus. Coined as the Swipe Drive or Swipe Out Hunger, students who are not in need and have extra campus swipes are able to donate a certain amount of their swipes to a fund that then gets distributed to students in need. A great program that I would like to take the time to highlight is Kennesaw State University's Care Services program. Kennesaw Cares program is an all-encompassing program that not only provides temporary housing to students in need, but also finds students long-term housing and partners with the Career Center to match students with jobs. This is a great model for addressing student needs and not only helps students when they are experiencing sudden homelessness and/or food insecurity, but also gives students the tools they need to ensure that they don't experience these issues again. Stay informed. This 10 to 12 minute presentation was just to get the conversation started. Now it is your turn. If you are interested in more information, please explore these resources. I would like to take the time to thank you all for your time and listening to this presentation.